All right, take 2 on podcast launch lessons from radio. All right. Recording in Studio C at the 511 Studios. This is a Note to Future Me. I'm Brett Johnson, owner and lead consultant at Circle270Media Podcast Consultants. Podcast launch lessons we can learn from radio. As podcasters, we can learn from radio, the good and the bad. Obviously, radio's been the masters of audio since KDKA received the first federal license and began broadcasting on November 2nd, 1920. Radio fills the airways with audio content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We can learn great interview techniques, show preparation, and a minutia focus on content and show management. But that also includes the bad. The first step into podcasting includes self-promotion, especially when it comes to launching episode 0. There are a number of examples, workshops, and discussions in podcast groups about how to launch. In fact, so many, it may be crippling. We convince ourselves that if we do it wrong, we're missing our big chance to make that big splash. Podcasters, take note. Any planning you do and the implementation of that self-promotion plan for your podcast launch bests any launch of a radio station's new format, and guarantee it. I can tell you from experience, I was at 7 format launches over my 35 years in radio. Podcasters have a leg up when it comes to launching. Granted, radio may have a larger social media base and email database than you could ever accumulate. But with a format change launch, they can't tell anyone about it until after it happens. Why? Well, 2 main reasons. One, the fear that the competitor radio station across the town is going to tweak their format or steal their new format idea completely before their launch. Does that happen? Rarely. But it makes a great fear factor to keep everything hush-hush. 2, advertiser support. A new format means a new listener base. Obviously, what the radio station was airing before didn't work, or they wouldn't be changing the format. And advertisers hate change once their ad spend is in place. So why compare a radio station new format launch to a podcaster episode 0 launch? Well, because we as podcasters do a better job at self-promotion. And we need to recognize that we do. Whatever we do, as long as we do something and not do what radio does overall. And I can give you a great example. I have a link to a video example of a recent format launch in Huntsville, Tennessee. Take a look at it. And yeah, if that was a podcast launch, you know what the download numbers would look like. Prepare, be prepared, and launch your podcast. Run the plan. Hey, thanks to 511 Studios located in the Brewery District in the heart of downtown Columbus. Looking for a podcast or videocast space for your business in Central Ohio? Email me at podcasts@circle270media.com, and I can get you more information about using 511 Studios. Be sure to subscribe to my free weekly Open the Mic newsletter at circle270media.com. It's chock full of podcast news that you may have missed, as well as social media tips on how to grow your podcast, anything that catches my eye that I think you as a podcaster should know about. Thanks for taking notes with me.